Hey, everybody. I'm Chad Eckert, and this is the Preferred Lines podcast with my buddy over there, Joe Idone. Hey, what up, tour picks? The U.S. Open is upon us. Correct, as we do each and every Monday evening. You can follow us on Twitter at Preferred Lines. I hope you do that already. I hope you are a subscriber on YouTube and a follower on iTunes. We do those things. We are also friends. You know who we are. You know we are friends with the Jock Market. And Joe, tell us about your Jock Market show. I've been bragging about. I was at a bachelor party this weekend, dude, and not everybody knows about the Jock Market. I'm kind of surprised, and so I was telling them about it. I think we might have some new signups this week. There might be some fresh blood in the waters.
Let's go. So Wednesday nights, if you haven't tried Jock Market yet, by the way, we have a new promo code. I don't know if you have it ready on the bottom, but drop the numbers. It's just PL. Like, that's the promo code. I don't even know if I told you about this, but it's PL, and they will match any deposit up to $50. So you deposit $20, they'll match you 20. You deposit 40, they'll match you 40. 50 for 50.
50
all the way up.
bucks? Are you serious?
If you haven't tried it out yet, like, no better time than now. Wednesday night, 8:15 on the Rick Run Good YouTube channel. It's going to be electric. It always is. The best 45 minutes of the week, at least for me. We have a ton of new faces in there every week. It's a blast. Higo was super cheap last week. Bo Van Pelt. I saw my guy Austin was heavy on like 60 shares at Chesson Hadley. So people are having a lot of fun with it, us included. Our friends there support us. We support them. Use the promo code. Give them a shout. Give them a try. U.S. Open Week. What better time than the present, my man?
Exactly. Doc Redmond saved my week last week.
Oh, yeah. Dock Market, baby.
Awesome. Dock Market. Oh, I like that. Okay. We're not doing an interview tonight. We had one done already. Thank you, Joe, for providing that content. Tell us about that interview.
Sure. So you can go back and check that out on our channel. I interviewed Stephen Hennessy, who is the managing editor over at Golf Digest, oversees the 100 Greatest Courses panel. I asked him about that a little bit, but we talked early U.S. Open. We did it like last Wednesday. So we've had some information take place since then, but I think that it's all still relevant, good content, even for this week. Look, we're trying to kind of split this up, right? We don't want the show to run too long. So we were having like hour and 15-minute shows. We want to keep this right around 30, 35 minutes. So we thought split it up. We'll do 2 shows. Hope you guys enjoy that. Steven is awesome. Great supporter of the show. We love those guys over there at Golf Digest. They do a fantastic job on the Be Right pod. So yeah, it's awesome. Check it out if you haven't yet.
And if you're in the chat, welcome to chat along. There's people in there. Someone says, let's go Higoat. Another person's asking about Team Bryson or Team Brooks. If you are in the chat, you can answer this man's question. Are you Team Brooks or Team Bryson? We're about to get to that. We're about to get to the betting board. But before we talk about Brooks versus Bryson, we have to talk about the guy at the tippity tip top, and it is John. I got excited. John Rodriguez. Let's go. 10.5 to 1. And he's healthy now. But why would you bet the betting favorite at the U.S. Open? Are you kidding me? Would you take John Rahm?
Look, he's the favorite for a reason. I'm not going to disparage him or anyone picking him. Look, I think a lot of people I'm not one to be like, 10 to 1, like that's a terrible bet, right? That's a great bet in any other sport if you like it. I've just never been one to go to the counter on the favorite for the week. I think that there are some guys who will get to 16 to 18 to 1. So you're catching 6 to 8 points that I think have maybe not the same win equity as John Rahm, but pretty damn close. So for me, it's a pass. Look, course history lines up. Played phenomenal. He was going to win by 7, 8, 9 strokes at the Memorial. Factor that in with added motivation of sort of a redemption factor for him, getting his first major victory, West Coast Rahm. He doesn't finish worse than 5th ever. A lot of good reasons to bet John Rahm, but I'm not going to. I'm crazy.
No, I didn't do it either. I'll pass on the top price guy, but I will go and I'll slide down to the next three names in line, and I'll share them with you. They're Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, and Xander Schauffele. And in fact, Joe, my card consists of all three of those people. I got them all at different times at 16-1. So that's what we do. We kind of feel this out over the last few months or so. We've been talking about trying to win and where to place future bets and try to get in on a good number at the U.S. Open here. Now, Bryson today on this sportsbook, which is the DraftKings sportsbook, is 15-1. He is 15-1 with DJ and Xander. Depends on where you look. Now they're looking for your dollars. This is now a new thing. 2021. Things are legal everywhere almost. So go find a book that's going to give you a better number. But I don't know if you are going to find a better number on Bryson or DJ at the 15-1. Are you finding better numbers? And did you take it?
Yeah, I've actually seen Bryson at 18. I've seen DJ at 18. I'm just kind of not really paying attention to the Xander number this week. I'm trying to ignore it because I really
what the hell?
I think he's going to play really well, and I think that he could win, but I'm just willing to be wrong on it. Okay. I just can't. I'm not ready to put him there with those guys. So that's it for me. In terms of the rest of the crew, I'm close on Bryson. So I think you all have a feeling who I took in this range, but I'm between two other guys, and it's Bryson and it's Rory. So I've kind of flip-flopped back and forth on the two of them.
Well, I mean, the difference is a huge number. You got a 21 on Rory. Let's go. But then you obviously have Brooks there at 19. You've bet Brooks, I assume.
I bet Brooks Koepka. Surprise.
Like last week or this week, or did you bet him every week?
This morning. I hit it with a rather heavy hand at 18-1 this morning. Look, it's still a great number on Brooks. Major. Don't overthink it. Not concerned, just like I wasn't concerned at the PGA Championship with the form on the event before. Screw the Palmetto Championship. He drove it really well. He hit his irons really well. I think that he had no will to really play the weekend there, and I don't blame him. He's told us this himself, that it's all about the major championships. Not only do you factor that in with sort of the pedigree and how he's performed in majors throughout the last, say, 5 years, he's also in really good form right now. So he's giving himself opportunities on Sunday at Major Championship. He's given himself opportunities on the green. I wrote this up earlier. Number one in the field in opportunities gained, which is a stat from our friends over at Fantasy National, which basically analyzes how many putts, how many looks you giving yourself from inside 15 feet. So birdie opportunities. You aren't going to make them all, but the more chances that you can kind of give yourself, the more birdies that you're going to make. He gives himself as many as anybody. I trust him. The opportunity is there. The trust factor is there. And I'm Team Brooks, so it was an easy play for me. 18-1. You want to play devil's advocate here, Team Bryson?
I mean, I bet Bryson. I got a 16-1 on Bryson. I think that honestly, it sets up well here. We know what he did last year to the U.S. Open course. How is this going to be much different than last year, where the dude won by 6 strokes? He won going away, and it wasn't even.
Who wasn't there last year?
Brooks, was he hurt?
No, he was hurt last year. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that if Bryson can do what he can do with his driver and his putting, and there's added motivation there with Bryson as well, because of the fact that Brooks won back-to-back U.S. Open. So this is his chance, Bryson, to win his back-to-back. And then he can put that up there in the PIP rankings and tweet about it. So I don't know. I think that if you're going to bet on either one of them, you're probably in a good position. I think that there are people that easily start your DraftKings lineups using both of them. Honestly, like this, Joe, we know that the U.S. Opens are where the cream rises to the top. It's going to be one of these guys under 33-1. I have a feeling, at least.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's U.S. Open. We've talked about this a ton, but it's one of the narrowest fields in terms of the amount of players that I think have the skill set to win of any event that we see all year. These two guys are at the top of that list, and they're there for a reason. The one reason that I actually do like Bryson, and I wasn't expecting to see this, rated out 4th in the field in strokes gained putting on Poagraph, which was a little bit surprising to me because it didn't initially pop into my head, West Coast play Bryson, right? It's not something that I would have necessarily registered with my eyeballs had I not seen the stats sort of bear that out. He's also really good from longer proximities with his irons, and that's basically due to the fact that 200 yards plus for him can be a 6-iron, where for some of these guys, it's a 4-iron. For some of these guys, it's a hybrid. So he's coming in with shorter clubs. We know that he sort of transformed his game and, more importantly, transformed his body to be the prototypical athlete that is going to win a United States Open championship. So he's built himself around this event, in my opinion. The one cause for concern with Bryson, I think, is some of the touch and ability to scramble right around the greens. I don't love him in that. These are tiny, tiny greens for as long as the course is going to be. I think that he can 2-putt from just about anywhere, but if he has to deal with this rough where it's sometimes difficult whether to know if it's going to come flying out or going to be able to flub, it creates more factors in his head to consider. I think that he kind of struggles in that part and can tend to overthink things, where a guy like Brooks is just step up and hit it.
Okay, so then you're debating whether to add Bryson or Rory to your card along with Brooks. So then, it sounds like you're talking off of Bryson when you say some of the stuff about around the green game. Now, I don't know if you've had a chance to pay attention to the Tour Junkies podcast where they had Paul Tesori on, and they're talking about growing the rough up closer as they get further towards where bombers would normally land. The fairway,
I don't think that's happening. I don't think that can happen or should happen.
Okay, so the rumor was that they're going to just try to grow the rough up as they get closer to the hole. So bombers that fly it out into the rough will have probably the closest shots in, but will have the highest rough to hit those balls out of. Whereas a guy can roll a ball into the rough and have a 200-yard shot away, but maybe it's not as penal in terms of length of rough. That seems insane to me, and also would be probably cool, but I don't know if they can actually put that together.
I think it seems totally insane. I also think it's bullshit. The further that you hit it, the harder it is to hit a fairway to begin with. It's easier for a guy that hits it 285 yards to hit a fairway than it is for a guy that hits it 310. That's their advantage.
That's why people clubbed out.
It makes it easier for them to hit fairways if they're shorter. So they can't then give another sort of, not only is it harder for them to hit fairways the longer than they hit it, now they've got to deal with more difficult rough. It's an insane take. I hope that they never consider doing this. It would be completely short-sighted, in my opinion, as a way to combat what Bryson and Matt Wolff did last year, because Wolff led the field in driving distance last year and finished second at the U.S. Open. So it wasn't just Bryson. It was what Wolff was doing as well. So getting back to what we were talking about, when it's between Rory and Bryson, there's pros and cons to both. I think I'm going to land on Rory because I prefer to root for Rory.
Well, and Rory's also 21-1 versus 16 or whatever you have to pay to get to Bryson.
Yeah, I think they're 20 and 18 on the book that I'm looking at. But Rory, so tee to green right now, when you sort of sort out and tee to green and filter it out with long golf courses, difficult to score on, number one in the field right now, tee to green. I mentioned earlier that Brooks was number one in opportunities gained on longer tracks. Rory's number two. So he's right there. Tends to play really well out there at the Farmers in this event. I had a bet on him back in January. So, yeah, I think that, look, he was the betting favorite at a major championship a month ago, right? So we're just going to now put him like sixth on the odds board. It seems like an opportunity there that we salivate for, right? That we're like, okay, this is when you sort of zoom out and we're like, this guy was the favorite a month ago and now he's sixth on the board and double the price. We should almost always take that bet. We try to tell ourselves, correct?
Yeah. What about Spieth? Do we have any interest in that?
I'm not here for Spieth sub 20-1 at a U.S. Open. No, I'm just not. Are you?
It just feels funny that we're just not. But the problem is, Joe, is there's so many good golfers, so you can bet on everybody. The truth is that the cream rises to the top. I mentioned that the stats are that 7 of the last 10 winners have been inside of the top 15 in the world. So I concentrated my card on the elite players. The top 30 in the world have won at least 11 of the last 13 U.S. Open. So, I mean, we're going to have to look at these names. We're going to have to go a little bit further down to get a little juicier payout, which is what I like. And I like how the books have given us what they've given us in the 20s. They're asking for us to bet. They're asking for us to find some value, and I'm finding it. Look at Patrick Cantlay. He's 22-1. I'm seeing Tony Finau 22 as well. Justin Thomas, 22.5. Patrick Reed, 25. Morikawa, 25.5. Hovland, 28. This is crazy in the 28s. I love it. Do you love it as much as I do?
Justin Thomas scares the crap out of me right here because this is a number that is clearly way above his value. Look, I made the take a couple of weeks ago at Memorial where I said that nobody wins at the rate that Justin Thomas wins. He's winning 12.5% of the time over the last 5 years that he sticks a tee in the ground. He's winning
22.5
one in every 8 events over the last 5 years. And I think we could see the drift even further, get up to 25-1 on Justin Thomas. So he scares me. I'm worried about the driving sort of being a little bit array. The putting, something is clearly going on both mentally and physically with the putter where he's struggling there right now. But he's still 1B in terms of the best approach player in the game. If you're going to give Colin Morikawa 1A right now, Justin Thomas is right there, right? Okay, he's so good with his iron play. So, yeah, he played really well at previous U.S. Opens. He was good last year. I think he was first-round leader last year at Winged Foot. He was right up there at Erin Hills. So we've seen him compete in these really tough events before. So that scares me, man. 25-1 on JT is going to be tough to sort of plug my nose and overlook.
I auto bet that shit, dude. Honestly, like I was like, what?
I might have to.
I saw losing golf bets our guy Power Fade. I mean, I'm riding him too. I'm riding with him. But dude, okay, so this is the range to maybe find it and bet, and maybe you just bet this range only, and you have 3 or 4 guys in this range, and that's what you do this week, and then you just hold on tight and you just ride them out. I'm riding with someone in this range, dude, for the house bet this week, and it is not the number that is listed there. It is 28-1 on my guy Patrick Cantlay. Let's go. Yes, Joe. I got 28-1. I told you on my Twitter page, Idone Realty. I'm a realtor for Idone Realty. It's kind of a play on words because my initials are CHE. Get it, Bagels. You know it. According to Data Golf, Cantlay is the best strokes gained golfer over the last month. And what do we love more than recent form? Nothing. So I'm going for it, dude. 28-1 on Patrick Cantlay, who is a killer, and I'm betting the number. The number is juicy and nice. I'd still probably take it at 22. And Joe, I am loving the fact that he fits these narratives. Winner. I'm going to give him the win, but he won the Zozo.
Yeah, he's a winner.
He's a winner. Yeah. 7th in the world, so he's a top 15 player in the world. Boom. California guy. Boom. We like that. Long Beach, UCLA. California. We love that. Arguably, Joe, his biggest wins were the Memorial 1.5 wins that he's had. So I think he's hungry to get a win. I think he wants a major. All the stuff we know about the stats and all the stuff we know. But Joe, we know motivations. Those things are important. And I've got 2 factors for Patrick Cantlay to make him motivated. First up, he had a close friend who was hit by a car and killed in 2016 right in front of Patrick Cantlay. So we know, things happen, angels occur, and boom, angels in the outfield for Patrick Cantlay. So we're looking at that. He's 24 years old and his best friend and his caddy dies. I mean, come on, this is crazy. Countless back injuries for this guy. He knows he wants to take advantage of times where he's feeling healthy, and we have seen it over the last month. He is motivated to do it. Also, last thing, hey, I won't dismiss the 4 missed cuts. I understand he was terrible at the Players, the Masters. He was bad. It was a girl problem. 99 problems, and a girl was the problem, is what I've heard. So I'm thinking that now he's snapped out of it. He cried and listened to sad music, and then showed up at the PGA and was like, I need to focus again, and was top 25. So boom, there he goes. He's top 25. And then it won 2 weeks ago. So that bad stretch came after a breakup. So I'm not worried about it. I'll dismiss that, and I'm going to put the house on Patrick Cantlay. So come with me, guys. Let's go. Patrick Cantlay, Motivation Week. Hashtag Motivation Week, Charlie R. Let's do it. In on that,
big house bet. I really thought when you said Patrick, I'm shocked it wasn't Reed.
Well, I have Reed on my card.
Okay, good. I bet Reed as well, 30-1.
I have 7. Joe, I'm an idiot. Okay, I have 7 dudes on my card, all under 33-1. Is that weird or dumb?
That's
who I have. I have all guys under 33.
A lot of them you have as futures from a while ago, so I understand that.
Right. One of them was Morikawa. Did you have Morikawa?
No, all I have right now is Brooks at the moment, and then I have Patrick Reed. So I took Reed at 30. Can't pass that up. Was on him on January when he hit around the green game. Big time
best
here,
on
right?
tour.
That's what put me on him in January. The smallish greens, of course, the plug lie controversy didn't hurt, but made it quite an awkward celebration when he won here in January. But he's just playing well, man. He was awesome at the Memorial, just couldn't really make a putt. Also has a really good U.S. Open track record, has sort of been trending in the right direction with U.S. Opens. I believe he was the leader after 2 rounds last year at Wingfoot, where I had a big number on him.
Yeah.
He's good, and he's good out here, and he can putt, and I trust his ability to get up and down from just about anywhere. Patrick Reed at 30-1 is always going to sort of find his way onto my betting card, and it's no different here.
Well, so then would you take a 25? Because if we're looking at this sports book, you'd have to take a 25.
I'd have to think about it a little bit more. I'd have to think about it more at 25. I love the 30. There's still 30s out there. If you can catch one, go that route.
Right. That's the value of having multiple accounts at different books. Now, I mean, we could talk about Fee now, I guess. Why is he 22?
Look, plays great out here, plays great on the West Coast, not ready for that victory. I think that it's books sort of protecting themselves against some of the top 5 and top 10 bets.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't think he's ready to break through at a U.S. Open, but he could. You know, the other guy that I'm sort of interested in, who I haven't bet yet, but I'm starting to like more and more, is Scotty Scheffler. Where do they have Scheffler?
35.
I've seen a 45 available.
What makes you like Scheffler?
He's driving it fantastic, Chad. Like, he's crushing it off the tee, and he's hitting a ton of fairways. And I think that a lot of the elements that are within his game, the more and more that I look at it, are lining up to be a great contender at a U.S. Open. Was right there at the Memorial. Missed the U.S. Open last year due to COVID, when I think that he was going to be an extremely popular pick heading into Wingfoot. So a little bit of a redemption factor there for him. He's played awesome. I think it was Justin Ray earlier today. Did you see the Justin Ray tweet?
Dude, Justin Ray tweets so much. I didn't.
But while I pull it up here, also our guy was mentioning that he was first in total driving on the tour right now, which is basically accuracy times distance, which is above John.
I saw the one where the announcer said that Scheffler's not a very good driver, and then they were like, excuse me?
Well, you can't ever trust the announcers, but here's the Justin Ray tweet. Best cumulative score to par in majors since the beginning of 2020. So basically the last, I think it's 7 majors. Scotty Scheffler, number 1 in the field at minus 18 in major championships over the last majors. DJ's minus 15, Rahm minus 14, Hideki minus 13. So he's 3 clear of those guys. He's playing really well on the big stage, which is shocking to me. I think that he's close, man. I like him. So if I see the 45, I'm very, very tempted by that number.
Okay, well, oh gosh. This is kind of the range of misfits once you get past 35. This is why I said to myself, I'm just going to go big. I mean, honestly, like, I need one of those 7 dudes in the under 33-1 to hit, and then I'll probably just double my money and basically doing this for fun. But I don't know. You get a little risk for your reward here, or reward for your risk. Do you do you have any other interest in these 40? I mean, like Louis O, is he gonna ever win a major? Is Paul Casey gonna ever win a major? Now, Shane Lowry's playing well lately. You can get him at 45. You got Hideki here, who won the Masters. He's playing great still. He's not really had a letdown. And then Zalatoris kid, that he's at 46 and a half. Hatton, answer.
I bet Paul Casey.
You did?
Yeah.
Why win?
It's kind of weird. All right, so he was 66 to 1. I think that is still available right now. Let me just double check and I can confirm that. But a couple of things. I'll tell you what led me to Paul Casey. One, let me just double check the number. So yes, he is still 66 to 1 on Bovada. He still hits it a far away, right? So the distance is there. He hits it 304 off the tee, which I believe is top 30. He's got them big old forearms that he can gouge it out of the rough. Plays well on the West Coast normally. Paul Casey's won, I believe, or coming second at Pebble a couple of times along the California coast there. Another factor, approach play, second shot golf course, right? We've seen it be that way at the Farmers. If we're going to take any indication of that, and we expect that to.
Oh, shit.
Hold on. Did you just remove me? Am I back?
Sorry, I meant to remove this other thing.
All right, so
guys, we're amateur hour. You're on
Paul Casey. Second in approach on the field over the last 24 rounds. The iron play is dialed in. If you even look at proximity on longer irons, so 200 and above, number one in the field over the last 36 rounds. Best guy on tour, over 200 plus yards. I think there's going to be a lot of shots that come into that range this week. And like I said, a propensity to play well on the West Coast. So Paul Casey, 66 to 1. I'm almost certain that that's a losing bet, but I took it anyways.
I don't know, though, because like we've seen strange things happen. Phil just won. I feel like Phil and Paul are kind of tied in a way, and like their careers, and they're kind of like the old guys, but still good a little bit. Yeah. There's some of that action going on. So maybe we could get some good juju from Paul Casey. I don't mind if that.
He's really limited the number of events that he's played, which I've noticed. He won that event on the European Tour, which was a big field earlier this year. Top 5 at the Players' Championship. Then he basically took off to the Masters, where he always plays well. I think he was like 20th at the Masters. Then he basically sat it out until the PGA Championship, where he came in like 5th there. So he's had really good finishes. I just don't think he gets the credit that he necessarily deserves, because we don't see him that much anymore. So this is an event that I think he's got circled. Maybe Phil winning gave him a little bit of like old guy motivation. Like, hey, I still got some years left in the tank. Let's go.
That's what I think. All right. Now, the 50s, this is where maybe you start sliding towards a top 10 bet or top 5, but Fitzpatrick's at 50 to 1, Daniel Berger in English, 55. You get Kokrak and Webb Simpson also at 55. Webb Simpson, 55 to 1. He's a winner of a U.S. Open before. Should we do that?
I crossed him off. I don't think he's long enough.
Yeah, me neither.
But then
Kokrak's, Kokrak's long enough for sure. And he's just won 3 weeks ago, whenever it was.
Kokrak
to win a major
right now. Yeah, he's long, hitting fairways. He's doing everything very well. Shout out to Gordy and the bachelor party.
Yeah, for sure. You love Jason Kokrak.
Yeah, listen, he's great. I think that 66 to 1 is kind of depleted a little bit of that value away, where you could have got him at like 100 to 1 last week. So it's a tough number to me to stomach right now. I look a little elsewhere.
Okay, yeah, me too. I think you can get a little more value. The problem is now you start to act like an expert, and you act like you know things, and you act like you have a hunch on someone, and that's what you do. That's what's fun about golf betting, and I'm betting on futures. I mean, once you get past these numbers, we already know nobody wins if you're not top 30 in the world, and this is where we're sketchy. We're getting towards the Cam Smith's at 60. You got Justin Rose at 66. Can Justin Rose win a U.S. Open at 66 to 1?
Well, you know what? You say that, and there's another guy down here, and I hit him to win the U.S. Open 2 years ago at 80 to 1, and he's basically the same number now, and it's Gary. I have a 125.
Do you think he can win here?
It's my only future heading into this, besides Keegan Bradley, who's no longer in the field. But Gary was 125 to 1 that I bet back in December. Nice. Love that bet. Love Gary. Went to see Butch Harmon, get himself dialed in on the way out to the West Coast. He's close. Like his numbers are seriously trending in the right direction. He's long. His long distance iron play is fantastic, and he has some winning momentum and upside over there on the West Coast. And he's one U.S. Open away from being the defending champion. So right there, I think the confidence factor is there. You can still get him right now at 100-1. I'm looking at it in front of my eyes on the other screen here. So there are good numbers out there on Gary Woodland, should you be so interested. But you mentioned Adam Scott, right? Number one, I saw Banford Golf tweeted the best guys over the last 5 years in terms of scoring average at Torrey Pines South. Number one is Adam Scott. We know the guy can basically, parachute down or hang glide down onto Torrey Pines and step onto the first tee and play as good as anybody. Yeah. The game's not in great form, but I don't think that he's built to consistently top 10 at PGA Tour events anymore. He has his events. He told us this himself. I think that this is certainly one of them that he has circled on his calendar as the 8 events that matter throughout the season. It has to be. And what better spot to bet him than Torrey?
Adam Scott reminds me a little bit of what Rory, but I mean, a level down from what Rory had happen after U.S. Open last year, where Bryson won it all, and they all chased distance. Scott did the same thing. I think there could be a potential that Rory tamed it back and then he won. Adam Scott might have tamed it back. Maybe he went too far. The pendulum swung one way and he was trying to go distance and it ruined everything. So he went back, and maybe the pendulum's swinging back and it's going to level right now. I mean, reminds me a lot of Justin Rose at the Masters, where Justin Rose was broken to people, written off. And maybe this is a first-round leader bet, because I cashed a first-round leader bet on Justin Rose thinking that, well, come on, he's going to show up to Augusta where he dominates and not be good. It's Justin Rose. So this is kind of the thing with Adam Scott showing up to a place where you do need to bomb it, and where he has 370 ability off the tee, and so and can get a hot putter. So I think Adam Scott is like a long shot 7,800 guy on DraftKings or whatever he is.
Mm-hmm. Good top 10 bet, I think. Possibly good in a matchup as well, Adam Scott this week. So
okay, so we're reaching the long shot region. I don't even know. I mean, these guys, Corey Connors at 75-1 or Higo. Would you go back to the Higoat or not?
No, not for me. Yeah,
he's got to be burnt out. Neiman, 75. Could he win his first major? He's through big time.
Slipping a little bit. I think that maybe it came and it went without him getting that win potentially.
Dude, it's the same thing that happens to
all the candle. Yeah. So I think that it's the wick is burning pretty slim right now for Neiman. Great player. Obviously, finally missed a cut in a century. So distance is there. I just don't know if he has the around the green game and the ability to make clutch putts that it's going to require to win a U.S. Open.
If you're going to bet an Open, maybe you bet Neiman in a future right now. Fleetwood is here with Leishman, both at 85-1. I'm leaning Leishman over Fleetwood at this point, especially at Torrey, right?
I don't know. I'm kind of torn on both of those guys. I could see myself potentially betting one of them. I've done neither at this point, but I think both of them have upside. Tommy's just great in U.S. Opens. Leishman has the course history. Both are very streaky iron players. Both are sneaky long off the tee, and both bad putters, but can randomly get really hot. So I think that it could kind of go either way there for me.
Okay, so then basically those two, depending on ownership on DraftKings, you may want to look at those people. Joe, I do a DraftKings podcast I do it on Mondays and Wednesdays, and Eric and I do it on Tuesdays every once in a while. We're going to do it tomorrow night, Tuesdays. Names and reasons. So follow us, Fantasy Golf Pod. I'm going to talk about those names. I'm going to talk about Charlie Hoffman. Are you interested in Charlie Hoffman at 90-1? Because I think that's kind of value to me, because motivation is there for Charlie Hoffman. Iron play and recent form is there. He definitely likes the course. Charlie Hoffman at 90-1. I'm not betting long shots. Like I said, I'm just peppering the top of the board. But if I looked at a top 10, look at that. I mean, is that top 5 or 12? 10? 12-1?
I'm not against it. I'm certainly not against it. Look, there have been the scrambling for Charlie Hoffman is what worries me if he's going to have to play at a deeper rough. He plays great at Augusta where there really is no rough, and some of the Texas courses where it's fairly minimal. So if the rough is 4 inch deep, That's not necessarily his strong suit. But look, the iron play has been fantastic lately. I can see getting behind it.
How about Homa or Horschel?
Yep, Homa. I'm in 110 to 1.
Okay.
That's my long shot.
Homa's good at golf. Homa's
Really
strong
good.
out of the rough too. I don't think he's intimidated by the
And
rough.
you put him out there on the West Coast, and his finishes are fantastic. So he had a top 10
Genesis
last
winner.
time, 19th the year before, back-to-back top 20s at Pebble, had a top 5 at Riviera, and then 1 at Riviera, which I think Riviera is actually a sneaky, pretty good comp course to Torrey Pines South. Very classical design, West Coast. There are a lot of links in terms of architecture that people smarter than myself have put together between the two. He's great at putting on POA. He's not a good putter on Bermuda grass. Negative putter there. Bent, he's like even, but he's one of the best putters in the field on POA. He's fantastic out there. The driving distance is there. I think that he's at the point in his career, confidence-wise, where he's ready to feel comfortable competing at a major championship. So, yeah, I'm in on Homa.
I'm on the Homa because of his mental mindset. Are you a golfer, Joe? Of course you are. The power of positive thinking. I mean, if you're having a couple
good this book, I might have it in here.
Oh, dude, this is Homa.
The 7 spiritual laws of success. Get that book. I bought that book. I'm like 3 chapters in from Max Homa. It's a good book.
It's got to be worth a few strokes. So I don't know. I'm into Homa. I'm definitely into Homa on DraftKings. I don't know if I'm into anybody else. Can Ian Poulter win a major?
Not a U.S. Open. Not a U.S. Open. Maybe an Open championship.
Is Sungjae? It's not the summer of Sungjae, right?
No, it's not.
Unfortunately.
I'm in on
the house
just down here. Brandon Grace, kind of. I had some interest there. I saw a couple of our guys, Luke and Losing Golf Bets, that are back on Wolf, which I want to be there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
I'm gonna wait and see, and I just want to watch him. I hope he makes a cut. I want to see some shots from him. I want to see his face. I want to see his face look happy.
Yeah. Like I truly don't mind if he's, top. If he just makes a cut, I'll just be happy. I'm not like betting him to think he's going to win or anything like that. I might actually play him on DraftKings, but I don't know about that.
I'll be very sad if he withdraws. I'll be very sad.
Right? I think now there was a DM that was sent to me about a rumor of his illicit use of drugs, and I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like an illicit drug user, and like had to go to rehab for a minute and was like depressed over that. I don't think it's more. I think it's. I don't. He doesn't. I don't know. I can't peg anybody, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. He might be back. He might be at his happy place again, but I don't think I'm going to bet him.
Yep, not ready to go down the rumor mill. But illicit drugs, it could be anything. Like it could be something bad, or he could just be smoking weed. So yeah.
Right.
Who knows? I'm not going to judge him. We're a big pro Wolf podcast, so
and
Wolf
pro drugs.
We hope you're back, buddy.
No, we're not. Go to church. Okay. Thank you for watching, everybody. I mean, this is fun. It's the U.S. Open, and we need you to like and subscribe, rate and review. Michael Rubio needs you to unblock him, Joe.
Ruby. All right,
Ruby.
I will unblock you. I think you said something that got me like a week or two ago. I have to go back through it. But
hey, we're real people on the internet there. Okay, I got a real job with a real wife and real kids. So does Joe, and we're not doing this for a lot of money. And so, be nice to us on the internet. Retweet our stuff. We're just trying to grow this together and have fun, and just do this for fun. Hashtag not experts. Hashtag fun. Hashtag mega profit this week at the U.S. Open. Boom. Follow us on Twitter at Preferred Lines. He's at Tour Picks. I'm at Idone Realty. We're the Preferred Lines podcast, and we'll see you every Monday night from here on out.
Love you guys. Even you, Ruby. Peace. Good luck this week, gang. Cheers.
I didn't even say anything.
Yeah.
Sign up for the Jock Market. It's a great app. We love those people over there. I honestly love it. So I'll see you in there on Wednesday night. Bidding people up on the IPO on Power Hour. See you over there, Joe.
Cool, buddy. See you later, buddy.
Thanks, dude. Talk to you later. End broadcast.